understand I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my chest. That's why.
What's going on, everybody? Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics, and welcome to another episode of Indie Breakdown, the show where we break down your favorite indie comic book characters' stats, powers, and abilities, and get them ready for an eventual indie versus matchup. We got another awesome guest on today. I'm going to bring him to the stage and let him tell you about the character and story that he's bringing today. How's it going, boss?
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, for
All right.
sure. Absolutely.
Cool. So to let everybody know who I am, my name is Tyrone Jackson. I go by Tyr in the comic books world. I am the owner of Sovereign Comics LLC. At Sovereign Comics, we have about we have four comics and a manga out right now, and we have about four more comics that are on the way. Um, Ultimately, the character that got selected, because I put in two, but the character that got selected for Epiphany Engine um, is basically our the face of our comics. When people see her, they know, "Oh, that's Sovereign Comics." But is our character Kunoichi, which I
Okay.
have her here on this shirt right here.
Nice.
Kunoichi is uh, black and Japanese. Her mother's Japanese. Her father is a black naval admiral, retired. So she comes from a family of discipline and just uh being kind of informed on certain things, like with her dad being military and her mother being a ninja also, and then eventually her mother became in their sense what they're called their basically their clan leader. The mother her mother ended up becoming. So she's a very disciplined individual. But she does like to have fun here and there. There's a particular character in the comic that she comes from, which is called Cypher Team Alpha. And there's a character in there that she likes to bother all the time because they both are espionage and information gathering. So she likes to bother this character a lot, but she has a lot of respect for her. So Kunoichi, like I said, she's a ninja. She is mastered in all 18 disciplines of ninjutsu. So yeah, she's gonna give you the hands one way or the other.
Okay.
um, on top of that, in the Soverse, uh, certain individuals, like every normal human, has the ability to unlock their Kai. So if
Mhm.
you're a normal person in the Soverse and you want to become a hero, unlocking your Kai is one of those things that you can do. However, you have to be taught to unlock your Kai, because if you do it incorrectly, you can kill yourself, because you can actually release too much of your soul energy, which is where the Kai powers in the Silvers comes from. So it basically comes from your soul. So
Mhm.
if your soul isn't strong enough, or if you don't know what you're doing, you can basically project your soul out into the universe and be dead. Don't have a husk of, you won't be able to come back to your body. So she was taught this. A lot of ninjas know this,
Mhm.
know how to open up their Kai to include some other individuals within the Silverse who we'll get to later, who know how to unlock their Kai. So she was taught, but in a sense, she was only taught. Initially, she wasn't going to be taught because her grandfather was like, "No, she's a mix. She's a mixed gender. She's not mixed gender, but mixed race.
Mm.
Like she's a mixed ethnicity. We're not going to teach her ninjutsu." And then one day, he just saw her sitting there playing around, and she was conjuring an orb. And so he looks and is like, "Nah, we gotta teach her, 'cause if we don't teach her, she could become incredibly dangerous." So this is when she was a child. She's like conjuring up this orb. Um, and the wild part about that is she got better. She even got to a point to where she can do something that her family can't do, which is an elemental version of her Kai, where she can summon, conjure, control lightning and wind. And she
Mhm.
does this in Cypher Team Issue 1 and Cypher Team Issue 2. Um, but on top of that, her family has each ninja family has like their own thing that they can do. And her family has the ability to take their Kai and, in a sense, wrap themselves in it to make themselves indestructible. So there's a scene in issue 1 of Cypher Team where she does a halo drop, which is a high altitude, low open. I'm prior military, so
Okay.
I got a lot of military stuff in my books, but
Okay.
the high altitude, low open, I jokingly call it a Hano drop, because that's where high altitude no open, because when she jumped she didn't have a parachute, she just hit the ground because she covered herself in her kai and it protected her. So
Okay.
imagine being 30, 40,000 feet in the air and jumping out of a plane and not needing a chute. So basically that's how strong this ability is. Another thing that she carries with her is her katana, which has the ability to change through three different sizes depending on the vibration she puts through it. So it can go through tonto to wakizashi to katana. So
Hmm.
depending on what she needs and how long she needs the blade and the vibration she puts through it, it can go through those different levels, but she never pulls it because out of everyone, the blade resonated with her the
Hmm.
most, especially with her lightning ability. So when she tends to pull it, it actually starts changing the weather and stuff that's around her, and it kind of puts her into a bloodlust state. So she never pulls it until she really, really, really has to. So that's one of the things. Like even with Epiphany, I was like, hey, she has it, but she don't pull it. She uses Kanai.
Yeah, because
That the
otherwise,
most of the time, like she uses Kanai a lot. Because I've had people ask, like, she has that katana. Why isn't she using that? When she pulls that out, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. I get it now. You know, it's very much like some very bleach type, Bankai type situations whenever she pulls that katana out. Um, but also she has her Phantom Ninja dog, which goes by the name of Yuryu. And Yuryu belonged to the first clan leader, and they were at war. The clan leader died, and pretty much bestowed Yuryu with the charge to protect the family no matter what. So most
mm,
dogs are very loyal because the dog lived. So when the dog died, the ninja dog died, its spirit remained, and it went from each clan leader to clan leader. So
mm,
when she got it, she knew something was wrong with her mom. And a backstory with her, which has been mentioned in the books already, is that her entire clan was murdered, to include her father. So for her, it's weird because she's like, well, if we can do this, we can cover ourselves in our kai. Like, how did
how did that
someone
happen?
get in and kill everyone? Um, so that's a story that's coming later. So we're gonna figure out how that happened. And it's crazy how that happened. But yeah, Kunoichi is the one that got picked. I'm glad she got picked. She's a fun character. She's incredibly strong. Everyone loves her. Like she's always doing something new. And then there's like this running joke in the comics where they're always asking Rhaenys because Rhaenys is her first cousin, and Rhaenys is actually the character that the other character that I put in, because if they typically do something, they typically kind of do things together,
Mhm,
unless he tells her to go ahead and go. But there's this running joke because Rhaenys is a geneticist and he knows all about the phenogene, which is what the superpower individuals in my universe are called, phenosapiens. And
mhm.
so there's this running joke where they're always asking, like, "Are you sure you did her tests right? Are you sure she's not a phenosapien?" Because of her power, what she can do just with her kai, it's insane, to the point to where other ninjas will send people who will send ninja who aren't good with kai control. They'll be like,
Mhm,
go train under her because she's the best in the world. But she has her vices. She she loves children, like
mm,
vehemently loves children, and sometimes it can make her blind in her actions,
mm.
mainly because of her story, because she has a little sister, and like I said, her family was killed, but her little sister was never found. So she has this very protective instinct over children because of that. And sometimes it can blind her. Sometimes it can fill her with rage, and that'll blind her too.
Mhm.
There's also this other little funny thing that I did for her where she she's violently she violently loves gummies. So like if she has some
Interesting.
gummies and you take her gummies, you're gonna die. If she didn't give you
She's
permission to
like,
give
"I'm
her
not
gummies, that's it.
playing with
But
these guys."
yeah, that's I had to do that because like they like because I love comics, but I also love manga. And
Yeah,
in manga they do that with their characters. They have like those characters where they just have that comedic
yeah,
weirdness with them. Like Tsunade, like you wouldn't think she's strong is because when she gets drunk, she's so weird,
right.
but she will punch a mountain in half. You know,
Easily.
so that's kind of how what I gave to her when it comes to the gummies. Like she's a child. She becomes a 3-year-old when she's eating gummies. But if you were to take one or play like you're gonna take one, she gets violent. So it's like a
Whoa.
comedic violent, but she gets violent.
I'm loving
So this
every
is
bit of
this.
this
So
character.
yeah, and so like I said, she controls light, has her lightning ability, has her wind ability. She can summon her ninja dog. She also summons this dragon in one of these movies that she does, which is on the cover, and then it's also in the book because it's a move that typically if she does it, people are gonna die around her, but
Yeah.
she doesn't use it too often because it's very destructive. So it's kind of funny because in the comic when she uses it, a page later, you see like this aircraft flying is ready to drop in the rest of Cypher Team, but there's this big old molting lava hole in the ground, and that's basically where she landed at. So
And they're like, never mind.
so,
Mission
yep, it's like,
complete.
okay, well, she's there. She's down there. She's doing her thing. But she's interesting. She's an interesting character. She's very as far as her personality, she's very she looks out for her friends. She's
Yeah.
very friend oriented. It takes a lot for her to trust you.
Hmm.
So once she has trusted you, it's not a good idea to break that trust when it comes to her. Um, so she's But other than that, she's like quiet. She only likes to joke with one person, really, other than her cousin. There's only one person she likes to really joke with, and she's a fighter. To say like she's a fighter, she knows how to fight. So
Okay.
yeah, that's
So
Kunoichi.
offline, I'm gonna show you something because
Mhm.
I great minds think alike. That's why I'm gonna leave
Right.
that off. I'm gonna show you something after.
Mhm.
Tasha, if you could pull Masako. Uh my wife's modding in the background.
Oh, okay.
If you could pull that, it will show him that before we get out of here in a little while. But so you've given us a lot just now with this character. I am curious. I want to quantify some of this stuff now. So power,
Mhm.
Wave, you got the Kai, and so before we even get into that, hold on. How long has she been training, and how long has she been fighting?
So when she did the conjure that when she conjured the orb, she was around 4 or 5 years old when that happened. So she's been
Okay.
training since then. The main thing that they put her in because they saw that she could manifest her Kai to the point where it's visible,
Mm-hmm.
they started with that. And then I would say around 7 or 8, she started with the hand-to-hand combat and fighting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I think she's 26, so I would say
Okay.
she's been fighting for like the last 10 years, and not 10, but 20 years, and
Mm-hmm.
got the ability to master it all. But she does have her bruises and her cuts and stuff. Like she
Yes, ma'am.
was when her grandfather passed away and her mother took over as the clan leader. Her mother was teaching her, fighting the katana, which her mother is
Beast mode.
even though Kunoichi is good, her mother was levels above her. Like a lot of her fighting and stuff that she ends up teaching Kunoichi is she was the one who carried a katana all the time. So a lot of her moves and a lot of her special moves revolved around her katana. So she actually cut Kunoichi across the back. So like goes from her right down to her left, like
Mm-hmm.
just slash mark. So she has like this slash mark across her back. But she also has well, I'm not gonna give that. That's a spoiler.
Yeah, no,
That'll
no
come
spoilers.
later. I'm not gonna give that one. But yeah, she has this big cut down her back. So she got her bruises, she got her
Okay.
cuts and her scrapes and everything like that. Like she didn't come out flawless. Like she at one point didn't really know what she was doing and had to be trained. And when she was trained, she got to the point where it's like, okay, now I'm here. And that's the part that we're seeing in Cypher Team, even though she's uh still learning
Mm-hmm.
as things go on. She's still learning, but she's already pretty freaking strong. So
Okay. So without Kai, and of course,
Mhm.
obviously, it's something that's inherent to her, but without utilizing that, let's talk about what is her strength and durability and speed, natural state, no
Mhm.
Kai included. How fast?
So
So start with strength.
so I would say as far as her strength minus Kai, she she will be above average,
Hmm.
but she wouldn't be able to like if she didn't turn on her Kai and she did that Halo drop, she would die. So
Fair
so
enough. Fair
so
enough.
so yeah, so there's that. So it's like so the Kai does help a lot. Um and she doesn't constantly keep it on her because it does drain her, but
Mhm.
she will put the Kai armor on and stuff like that when she has to. But as far as like she's being a ninja and stuff like that, so she still has that training, being a ninja without the Kai. So she's still a master of those 18 disciplines of ninjutsu.
Mhm.
So that's still there. She's still a good sword fighter. She's still good in taijutsu, and she's still good at sneaking around and everything like that. But she just won't have her Kai, so she won't be able to do the lightning and the wind and then the Kai armor and stuff like that, or enshroud her weapons with Kai, or even make weapons with her Kai. She won't be able to do that type of stuff without it, but she will still be a
So
ninja.
she
So she
can
will
make
still be deadly with her katanas and stuff like that and everything else.
it's just clicking. So she's able to make constructs as well with the Kai.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's dangerous. So, all right.
Yeah.
So strength wise, durability wise, speed wise, probably peak human
Mhm.
physique at
Yep.
that point.
Definitely peak human. Definitely peak human assassin type of person. You probably like, nah, I'm not gonna fight them unless I train into something. So yeah, it's definitely peak human.
Okay.
Um,
And durability, if she gets shot
Durability.
normally, like what do
Yeah,
we
if she gets shot normally, she's gonna have to go to the hospital normally
okay.
if she gets shot. Unless it's like a graze or something like that, something that she could probably mend herself. But if she's using her Kai, like if she does the Kai armor and gets shot, it's just gonna bounce off of her like Superman, basically.
Okay.
So
And
mhm.
and so, you said the Hey No jump, right? So is there anybody in verse what the with the Kai activated that's even able to kind of break through that, right? Or is it kind of a battle of attrition where they just got to kind of keep wailing on her until the Kai kind of drains her?
Yeah, it's like that'd be one of the things like she will have to do that, but there are individuals who can um break through it. One of those individuals is another ninja family, which I said that goes into spoiler territory on what
Fair
happened
enough.
with her family. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna leave that there. They figured it out. But also there's Alchemy, who is the other espionage information gatherer that's part of Cypher Team, the one that she jokes with a lot.
Mhm.
So when Alchemy goes into her Gen Hunter form, when she's in Gen Hunter mode, she's actually able to uh, siphon powers and add it to her elemental metal alchemy power. So, like, one of the things that she does with her husband is his powers are fire. So, since
Mhm.
she's metal, so when she goes in her Gen Hunter mode and she touches him, she can take some of that fire from him and then she becomes like molting steel, molting metal. Um, but with Kunoichi, when she touches her metal vibrates at that form of Kai. So whenever she makes a bladed weapon, where she can do that with her metal and stuff like that, she's actually able to combat Kunoichi. Like they were fighting in a spar, which I mentioned in one of the posts that I did, but they were in
Mhm.
a spar and they both met their kunais, which was shrouded by that Kai. And Alchemy was able to break the kunai so that she realized because they were testing it to see how far
It can go.
Alchemy can actually push that ability. So it was almost like they hit that stalemate and it broke. And she was like, okay, okay. So it can be done depending on the individual and if the individual can actually support it. The reason why Alchemy is able to is because of her metal ability and the fact that she can go from solid to liquid, so her body's able to handle it more. But
Mhm.
somebody who would have like a normal body who hasn't had that Kai unlock,
Mhm.
it will crush them instantly if they try to take her
With
Kai
the
or
Kai.
anything like that. It would instantly crush them. So
Okay. So, oh, that's good. Let me ask this, speed. How
mhm,
fast is she moving in? What also is her like so running speed, but then also what is her kind of reactionary speed, right?
mhm.
Um,
So without using her Kai, her reaction is very fast. Like
mhm,
she's I would say she's not as fast. Well, I would say she's almost as fast as an NFL wide receiver. Almost as fast as an
almost.
NFL
Okay.
wide receiver. So almost as fast. She's not as fast, but she's almost as fast as an NFL wide receiver. She uses her whole body whenever she moves and reacts, but she's pretty fast. So if you were to swing at her, she'd be dodging. Like she has that same boxer weave type of stuff, so she can dodge normally without using her Kai. But if she were to enact her Kai and like charge up her Kai, do hand signs and stuff like that, and were to go to dodge, it would start looking like after images and stuff like that, because she'll
Mm,
become incredibly fast. There's a point in issue 2 where she does I think I called it Zephyr's Breeze, but it's a move that she does where she basically becomes wind, and she
mhm,
just like becomes this energy form of wind and just moves incredibly fast. Not at light speed, but she's breaks the sound barrier.
mhm.
And yeah, so in normal, she still has that dodge and that weave, but it's still peak human, like somebody
Okay.
who's been training at that for a while, like a boxer who's been training at boxing for the last, decade, 2 decades.
Right.
She still has the speed like that. But whenever she activates Kai, it always takes it up to another level.
Okay. So let me ask this, diving into those super moves, if you would,
Mhm.
like with the lightning and stuff like that. Can you dive into what's involved with that almost, and what is that kind of taking out, right? Like, what is the
Mhm.
upper echelons of destructive power of that ability?
Yeah. So with her, she has this running joke where she always says, "There's another slice of my Kai," because she has a lot of Kai,
Hmm.
but she knows that doing certain moves will eat at it. So she doesn't use it a lot unless she really has to. But as far as destruction, she's very destructive.
Okay.
Like I said, when she did that the Halo drop, she destroyed an area. Like she could be very, very destructive. If
Yeah.
she pulls her katana, that destruction goes up. So like she can go from point to where she can take out a city block to where she could take out a city once she takes out the katana. Because if she loses herself once she pulls it and allows it to control her emotionally, and that's one of the things with the katana is like whenever they use it, they have to be right
Right.
emotionally, and right now she's battling emotionally because she doesn't know what happened to her family, how they all died. She doesn't know where her sister's at, so on and so forth. So if
Mhm.
she pulls it, she typically loses control. She would typically lose control, and then just imagine a lightning storm in a city just coming
Yeah.
down everywhere. So there's that, like that fold back, but yeah, she could be incredibly, incredibly destructive. Whenever she activates her Kai and stuff, she uses hand signs. I did research in that, so I actually got hand signs that ninjas used and hand signs that individuals use in meditation and stuff like that. So in order for her to complete the seal and everything to activate the power, she has to end it with her absolute hand sign.
Mhm.
If she doesn't end that, then it doesn't activate. And that's for anybody who's using, like anybody who's a ninja using Kai and stuff like that.
Okay.
But um, but yeah, I'm trying to think. What else? I think that covers it all. I think that covers it all. I had to
Bro.
like my characters are like strong, so I had to give them a lot of potential
Yeah.
stop points, like,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, you're strong." But so
But
I
there's
typically try to bring in more emotional, because I feel like those are some of the ones that are the hardest things to overcome is, like, emotional type of situations, like, with her losing her family and losing everything else, like, she might feel like she's strong, but like I said, in order for her to use that katana, if she's, emotionally unstable, the katana is gonna take control of her, is
see,
gonna force it to her vibration. Will
I
force it to its
absolutely
vibration.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I
Oh, no, it's
absolutely
good.
love that angle because
Mhm.
you kind of miss DC, Marvel, whatever. They have these characters that can just and even manga, especially a lot of
Yeah.
cases of manga where they could just do it all, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like give them that something that's gonna
Yeah.
be like, if
Yeah.
I'm not emotionally right, if I can't, because honestly, right, I'm thinking when I thought about like the lightning thing with her, I thought about Kieran from Sasuke's move, right? In
Okay.
Naruto,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, why didn't you do that during the war? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could have just popped up, okay, all the Zetsus get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So instead of just plot convenience, he forgot, or even earlier in the series, oh, Guy could have taken out Pain. I mean, he could have just went seven gates casually.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then
Exactly.
why are we worried the whole series? But I love the fact that there is a reason why this is not a spammable move, right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Exactly.
pick a level city blocks. Okay, anybody can get these can get this katana.
Exactly.
No, there's a reason why. So no, I
Yep.
love that you took that extra step to hey,
Mhm.
there's reasons to why she is limiting herself, why, what's
Yeah,
going on in the background and stuff. So kudos.
exactly. Thank you,
Um,
thank you, thank you on that.
what I want to do, we'll get ready to close here because I do want to show you something offline here. And
Okay.
but I want you to let everybody know where they can find you and when we'll see Kunoichi
Oh,
next.
cool. So you can find me on Instagram. I am very, very, very active on Instagram. And from Instagram, you'll be able to find my Patreon, my website, so on and so forth. So just look for Sovereign Comics on Instagram and you will know us because you're gonna see an orange lion head. It's a lion head, but it has horns, so it's a chimera's head. That's the reason why I call like the fans and stuff. I call them the Chimera Kingdom because it's actually a chimera, but you're gonna see a orange lion head in Sovereign Comics, and that would be us. Kunoichi, we have seen her in Cypher Team issue 1. We've seen her in Cypher Team issue 2. We're gonna see her again in I think in Cypher Team issue 5 is where we're gonna see her again because issue 3, well no, issue 4, we're gonna see her again because issue 3 is a two-parter
Okay.
and it's more of a flashback to kind of explain some things because in the Silver's world, in the universe, things got to a point to where heroes were accepted. People wanted heroes. There was a hero to each city, but then there was like this major catastrophe, and because of that, normal people became afraid of people with powers again because of this
Mm,
catastrophe. Even though it was trying to be stopped, it still made normal people who didn't have powers like fear heroes again. So that's the or fear people with powers again. And that's the part that we're in Sovereign Comics now is that fear and trying to, I guess, win the public over a little more. But so much stuff is happening that the public's just like,
mm,
I don't know.
never mind.
So yeah, so it takes place in 2050. So it's like, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, so that's where you'll find her, and then also she crosses over into some other books. She will be showing up in Stars. I'm not gonna say when or why, but she will be showing up in Stars as well as Temple High. And I'm not gonna say when and why for that, but she'll be showing up in those two also. So
Awesome. No, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show.
no
This is
problem, no
this is
problem.
super exciting. Anybody that's listening and watching again, he gave you the socials, very much so active on Instagram. So definitely go and support and check out all the stories that's the Silverse has going on. Um,
Thank you, appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. And of course, guys, this is Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Indie Breakdown. Um, Check us out, midnightcomics.org, if you want to sign up or, of course, want to pick up any of our stories. All of our socials, we are on Midnight X Comics on everything except for Facebook and YouTube. Um, I think that covers everything. Yes, that covers everything. This is season 3 of Indie Breakdown. So you guys are keeping this going. Thank you guys so much. Thank you again for being on. And remember,
Thank you for having me.
everybody, yeah, for sure. And remember to next time, everybody, midnight is coming.